Is it hot here or what? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lachlan and today's video is going to be a book review on The Sweetest Oblivion by Danielle. And I just want to say, this is the first Mafia romance I've ever read, and good lord, I'm obsessed. But as a disclaimer, just because I enjoyed this book does not mean I condone these activities in real life. I just feel like the need to say that. Not that I want to explain myself for reading what I read, but you know, this genre is probably not going to be for everyone. I wouldn't expect it to be everyone's cup of tea. But if you're curious about this book or have read it and want to hear my thoughts, then keep watching. So this is a dual point of view standalone. It is a series, but the series are standalone, so like it doesn't end on a cliffhanger or anything like that. But so it's a forbidden romance about a girl named Elena who is considered a mafia principessa? I think that's the name. I didn't even know that was a thing. I don't know if it's a thing. This is the only Mafia book I've ever read, so it's probably a thing. Principessa, like the females in the Mafia families. Anyway, so her family's in the Mafia, and like I said, this is my first Mafia romance, so I don't have anything to compare it to in terms of this subgenre. But basically, her family kind of arranges her sister's marriage to this guy named Nico, and Elena ends up falling for Nico, and the dynamic is kind of complex just because it is an arranged marriage and her sister is not exactly excited to be engaged to Nico. Like, she doesn't even really like him. But yeah, Elena ends up crushing hard on Nico. And honestly, this book is everything I want in a dark romance. Nico was just so rude and blunt and aggressive, and he was just toxic. Like, that's how I like my fictional men. Don't judge me, okay? I'm just absolutely obsessed with Nico. Elena is like this sweet, innocent girl who is nice to everybody, and so their dynamic is very interesting, and I loved everything about it. It was just fantastic and quite toxic, but again, this is a fictional book, not meant to be some kind of blueprint for relationships or anything like that. I mean, obviously he's in the Mafia, so yeah, you could cut the tension with a freaking knife. It was just so much tension, so much steam. There was one point where I just had to physically stop, put the book down, stare at the wall, because it was so good. So good. Mostly because it also had a few of my favorite tropes, one of them being touch her and you die. That is one of my all-time favorite tropes ever. There's something about a dude that would literally kill for their woman. I'm like, whew, swoon. I mean, obviously in real life, I'm not about that, but you know, in a book, I will eat it up all day long. It also has a good girl, bad boy trope to it, which is also really well done. The grumpy sunshine is one of my favorite things ever. I just love a good grumpy book boyfriend. The grumpiest ones are my favorites. It's also obviously got forbidden romance because he is her almost brother-in-law. And of course, the forced / arranged marriage trope. So if you like those things, you'll probably like this. I want to say sometimes, like, while I was reading, my feminism was like, do you really like this? But yes, I do, because you know what? These dark romance books are written by women for women. So it's the most feminist thing that can exist, in my opinion. And I will die on that hill. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Anyway, so yeah, I was obsessed with Nico, but I also really, really loved Nana, Mama, and Benito. There were just so many side characters that I really loved. And of course I loved Elena, but I definitely loved Nico more. Like, he blew it out of the water. If I really am reaching for something negative, something that I didn't love about it, because I think this ended up being like a 4.5 star for me. Not an all-time favorite, but it's still so amazing. My 4.5 stars are basically 5 stars, but in my mind, I try to only give 5 stars to like an all-time favorite book. And although this is really good, it just wasn't my all-time favorite. Still incredible. And I think the reason why it turned out not to be my all-time favorite is because there was a lot of internal dialogue of Elena that I feel like didn't necessarily contribute to the story or character development or plot overall, but it wasn't enough to really detract from my reading experience. I still really enjoyed this. Honestly, it's pretty much a 5-star read. I'm giving it 4.5 stars in my head because I'm like, I don't know if it's all-time favorite or not. I mean, it might be. It might be. I don't know. I really want to read the next book because I've heard the next one is even better. I'm like sweating as I'm talking about this. Maybe it's because I'm standing up this time. Is it hot here or what? So yeah, Mafia romance is going to be one of those things that I'm now going to start looking for just because I did really enjoy this. So if you're into dark romance and you haven't checked out this subgenre yet, start with this because I feel like it's just a really good one to start with. I mean, I haven't read any other Mafia romance, but I have a feeling this is one of the better ones. I don't know. Prove me wrong. Give me a Mafia recommendation down below. So I don't have a ton of spoiler things that I want to talk about, but I do have a few things, just a few scenes that are my favorite. So if you have not read this, I would recommend you stop watching now. And thank you for watching, but I'm going to discuss spoilers now. One of my favorite parts in this book is when Nico pushes her into the pool. I just thought that was a pivotal moment in their relationship, and he is just so freaking sassy. I was obsessed with that scene and like the way that he was looking at her and how I think her dad ended up seeing it. I was just like, ooh, like the tension was just so thick. Also the whole shooting scene where Adriana, I think that's her name, Adriana, Elena's sister, announces that she's pregnant afterwards. Okay, that whole scene was epic, but like the pregnancy announcement, I was like, okay. Good timing. I also like squealed when Nico killed Oscar. I cannot tell you how giddy that made me. I have never in my life felt so giddy over someone getting shot. But like, that made me giddy. It made me so happy. There's so many times that Nico just like said shit or did shit that made me laugh. He's funny. He kind of reminded me of Vicious from the Sinners of Saint series by L.J. Shin. I mean, these books they're not really similar in any way, like they're totally different books, but they are similar in the fact that like, you know, it's got like the really grumpy dude who is like a boss, so love that, I guess. And I love the ending where Adriana and Ryan are going to get married. I was just really happy for that. Happy to see her sister happy, even though like we didn't really see a ton of her sister in this book. I don't know, I didn't want like the love of her life to get murdered, so that was nice. Another scene that I really loved was when they were doing the dirty and she was sore and then she's like, Nico, I'm sore, and then he like kind of like is like, oh, I'm sorry, and leans down and kisses her, and then it was like the whole world stopped because they finally kissed, and I can't tell you how happy it made me. It was just so good. Like the tension was just 10 out of 10 in this book because I had no words. I mean, he was just the moodiest, most aggressive, spiciest, steamiest mafia man I've ever read about. I think he's like the only mafia man I've ever read about. Like, he was just so good. I don't know why I'm holding it up like this, but I highlighted this. That's when he was like, you can call me Nico from now on. Okay, yes, sir. But yeah, I just thought the plot twist, like towards the end, I started to get so stressed out because I was like, girl, what the hell is you doing? Like, you're about to ruin everything. But then it turns out she didn't. She was just like wanting to give that lady some money. That dude that she had a fling with or whatever that got murdered. So I thought that was pretty cool because I was really stressed out, and at that point I was like, okay, if she ends up like ruining things with Nico, I understand that Nico is like extremely toxic, but I want them to be together. So I was really happy when she didn't like leave town or whatever. So yeah, I loved how it ended. I loved the beginning, the middle, and the end. I don't really have anything negative to say, honestly. It is really hot. Why is it so hot? So I think that's all of the things that I have to talk about this book. So if you made it this far, you can leave a little fire emoji because one, I'm like so hot right now, and that book is super steamy. Go read it if you haven't read it. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below what your thoughts are on this book, because I just thought it was so good. And I'll see you guys later. Bye!